You need to understand this, that sometimes many of you get discouraged because you pray and instantly it didn't happen. But I'm telling you, God knows what he's doing. And he said, 5 years ago, I met you, sir. And, you know, I happened to talk to you and you gave me your number and so forth. He said, my wife and I, we are pastors of this church, and the pandemic has really hit us real bad. And we have some properties and we just don't know what to do, and we're trying to sell a piece of it. And he went through a list of things, and you could tell he was discouraged, didn't know what to do. And then on top of it, he said, Pastor, what drew me to your story, to your ministry, was when I met you, you were sharing your testimony about how you and your wife could not have children. And my wife and I, we're going through that same experience now because it's been a while and we don't have any children. And we heard your testimony of how you trusted God, and for 16 years you believed God. And you shared the frustration of praying for people and their own children, and you couldn't have children and all that kind of stuff. And he said he got discouraged, but I asked you to pray, and you prayed. And I believe God. He said, I believe God. He said, it hasn't happened yet, but I'm believing God. But he said, the reason why I'm calling you, because the next part of your testimony was this. He said, we don't know what to do. I remember you testified that you were at the Oral Roberts University Mabee Center, and you were testifying about how you were at a frustrated point in your ministry where someone stole a contract to run away with $475,000, and you didn't know what to do. And he said, Pastor, I'm in this position now. I don't know what to do with our church. Most of our people are gone. And he just went on. But he said, I want you to pray. He said, sir, I'm calling you because I want you to pray. Because that prayer you prayed that day for me, I felt it. And watch this. I felt that that's the prayer that's keeping me through. Woo. 5 years earlier, this man is saying he still believed that prayer is carrying him through. And he said, I heard your story of how you sat in the bleachers at the Mabee Center. Many of you have heard it before. I sat in the bleachers. Frustrated. Some of you, that's where you are. You're frustrated with life. You're frustrated with the issues. Your back is against the wall. You don't know what to do. And I left Fort Lauderdale because I was totally just fed up, frustrated. Just honestly, I wanted to quit. And just to clear my head, I left Fort Lauderdale to go to this conference in Tulsa. And as I sat up there, Joyce Myers were on stage, and I remember Richard Roberts and Carlton Pearson was on stage. They were seated on the side, and she was there. And that was before Joyce Myers became a very popular person. Her name was getting out there. And Joyce started, and as she started teaching, Richard Roberts got up first, interrupted her, and began to prophesy to her. He went back. All right, she started teaching again. Carlton Pearson got up, interrupted her, and she started teaching again. The moment Oral Roberts got up and he prophesied, she closed her book and she said, okay, God, you're talking to somebody tonight. Just like that. I'm sitting up there. All of a sudden, this 10,000 seat auditorium felt like I was alone in the room. Desperate. Back is against the wall. They just took $475,000 from the church. We're trying to renovate our 16th Street property. The man is nowhere to be found. I was silly enough to believe him and gave him all the money because I wanted the work to be done so quickly. I didn't know any better. Young pastor, wanted to see the work of the Lord go forth. Totally frustrated, felt like Can I be honest? I felt like God was nowhere. But that night I felt like I was in the room. And Joyce Myers looked out and she began to prophesy. You begin to trust God. You begin to turn everything over to God. Believe Him. Trust Him. She began to say, whatever your needs are, put your faith in it. I'm saying those same words to you. Whatever your needs are, put your faith in it. When she said that to me, you said, she said it to you? 10,000 people in the room. But I felt God was talking to me alone, just like right now. There are hundreds of people watching right now. And you feel as if this preacher is just talking to you. It's not me, it's God speaking through me to talk to you. I've been where you're at. I know how you feel. When she said those words, I left from the bleachers while hundreds of people were leaving their seats. And they came down to the stage. Many were sowing their seeds. Many were believing God. And I'll never forget when I came down, just lost $475,000. I had about $300 something in my pocket in cash. And I don't know, something crazy came over me. But my attitude was, I didn't have nothing to lose. It's kind of like when doctors told me that you're going to be a crippled man, and the day of the surgery, they were trying to remove the thing that was growing against my spinal cord. God came in that room, told me I was healed. I mean, I screamed, did all kinds of stuff at Imperial Point Medical Center. I just acted the fool and told the doctors, no, do another x-ray. You all hear my story. Bam, they came back saying, we don't know we can't see it no more. What if they had cut me? It would be unnecessary. God healed me. You're looking at a miracle today. And I remembered that. And I said, what do I have to lose? And I remember I opened my wallet and I took out the $300 something cash that I had, and I took it. I lie not to you. I took it and placed it at the altar. And I said to God that day, that's all I have. I'm in Tulsa. And I left Fort Lauderdale because I'm desperate. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell the church. I don't know what to do, God. And I said to God, if you want me to continue to preach this faith message, give me a reason to. Oh, I wish somebody would hear me today. If you want me to continue to preach this faith message, give me a reason to. And I left my seed, went back to my hotel next morning, got on a flight, came back to Fort Lauderdale. Now I want you to hear me clearly as I pray for you, because this is not going to take long. You've got to believe God. I got back to Fort Lauderdale because I obeyed God. I threw it all to God. God, I give you my will, my stress. I'm done. Give me a reason to preach faith. I can't preach this if I can't live it. When I got back, I received a phone call. Gentleman on the line. And he said, Henry, how are you? And you know how we are. We could be desperate, but we always put on the front. I'm fine. I'm okay. Are you sure you're okay? I say, I'm good, trying to put on the front. And he said to me, Mr. Bland, he said, I'm going to ask you again. Are you okay? Because God told me to call you. Won't he do it? Why do you think you're watching this service today? Why do you think you're part of this today? Why? Because God anointed me to talk to you today. God bless you, and subscribe now.